Week 1 of the NFL kicks off this Sunday, and I wanted to bring you a quick but delicious snack that you can eat while you watch the games and stay on your diet. So today, in the Anabolic Laboratory, we will be making a cheeseburger dip that clocks in over 50 grams of protein, takes under 20 minutes to make, and is cheesy as all hell. My name is Nick. I have my master's in exercise physiology and I make anabolic recipes, and I also review pretty much anything in the fitness industry, do full days of eating, etc. So if you're into eating good and some tips and tricks for dieting, then like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you're ready for all the melty, cheesy goodness, then let's get into it. This is going to be so stupid simple that you won't believe it, and it literally will come together super quickly, and this is all we need. So we're gonna start with 96.4 fat. Now, you can use 93.7, but that's gonna net you about an extra 45 calories per serving, and it's just basically extra fat. It doesn't give you any extra protein whatsoever. The cheese adds so much flavor that I would prefer using 96.4 over the 93.7. Usually I say salt to taste, but for these purposes, I will let you know what I use, and then you could definitely do it your own way. Now, I have this skillet heating up on medium-high here. It's about 3 grams. Just added some white pepper to it. You could use black pepper. I've really been loving the white pepper recently. And the last thing we're gonna put on there is granulated garlic. So it ended up being 3 grams of salt, a half gram of garlic, and a half gram of pepper. So I'm gonna double that because I'm about to flip this onto here, and then I'm gonna put it on the backside as well, so everything is coated in seasonings and we get all of the flavor. A little oil goes a long way, so I'm gonna do 2 short sprays, and we're gonna flip this right into the pan. Now, similar to like my Taco Bell recipes for the beefy 5-layer and the crunch wrap, I want to get smaller chunks. So I'm going to break this up as it's cooking and just make sure we cook through. But at the same time, we don't want to overcook this. 96.4 meat and any lean meat in general, chicken breasts, whatever, overcooks super quickly and can get dry. So stay here and keep an eye on it, and definitely just move it around and you'll know when it's done. I would almost rather have you undercook it a little bit because we're going to cook it again with the cheese after we're done here, and you'll see that in a little bit. Now that we've got our meat broken up into small chunks, we're just gonna let it cook through, and then we're gonna head to the second part, and it's literally almost time to eat. It has been about 3 minutes. Our meat is now cooked, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this bowl on a scale and I'm gonna weigh this out. Now, I don't drain the meat. You can drain the meat if you want, but I find that when I use some of the juices that are left over in combination with the meat, it gives it much more flavor than if I take out all of the juices. Again, this is 96.4 meat. We wanna try and keep as much flavor as possible. Typically, if you want to go off the top of your head, about 112 grams of raw meat turns into 84 grams of cooked meat. But it's so variable on how much you cook it, on if you overcook it, on what type of meat it is. So I would really recommend, especially if you're just starting out, that you weigh it out. But if you're in a pinch, you could very easily just take 84 grams and use that as a 4-ounce serving size. For the second and final part of this recipe, we're gonna put everything together to make a cheeseburger. Now, I'm using 2% Fairlife high protein milk. You can use skim milk, but for the amount we're using, we're adding a few extra calories, and the little bit of added extra fat will give us more flavor. So I'm gonna use about 45 grams of milk. And then I have fat-free cheddar cheese. Not to worry, we're gonna use some Velveeta here in a second to add some flavor, but this just adds an extra 9 grams of protein for only 45 calories. So we're gonna go with 1 ounce of this, and then 2 slices of Velveeta cheese. You can use the regular. I prefer the sharp cheddar, but today I'm just using the regular old Velveeta. This will add a ton of flavor. This will make it super melty, and this will make it really taste like a homemade cheeseburger or like a hamburger helper type of meal. Super delicious. And now all we're gonna do is set this to low, and we're gonna wait about a minute or two for the milk to warm up, and then we're gonna just keep stirring until everything is combined, and you'll have a nice, thick, cheesy sauce. Then we will add our meat. At first, you're probably gonna think I'm crazy. It doesn't look like it's gonna come together, but trust me, as you keep stirring and stirring, that milk will start to turn orange, and then everything will combine. All right, and this is what we're looking like now. Now that we're ready for our burger, I'm gonna use that 23 grams that I got for each cooked ounce, and I'm gonna multiply that by 6. 25 times 6 is 150, so that would mean 23 times 6 is 138. So I'm gonna take 138 grams out of here and add it to our pot. Any extra that you have, you could make additional servings with. You could buy 2 pounds of this, and then you have like a whole week's worth of this. You could have it each day. And this is just an easy and quick way to get protein in. So it's up to you how you want to store it, but I've had this in the fridge for up to 4 to 5 days, and I've used it and it tasted fine. Definitely wouldn't go past a week though. Since the burger was already warm, this only really takes a minute to combine, so we are all ready to go. Literally 18 minutes. And you have 2 more servings after this. Now, you can have a chip of choice. If you want to make the Joseph's Lavish Bread chips yourself, or you have another chip that you like, go ahead and use it. I'm just gonna use regular old Mission tortilla rounds. I was also eating this with Chicago's famous El Milagro. It depends whatever you want. Take your pick, use a chip, and eat it. Or if you're in a pinch, you need to save the 130, 140 calories, then don't use any chips and just eat it like this. You're gonna get a crap ton of protein once I go over the macros here in a second. But first, we need to try it. Whenever I've been eating this, I've only really needed about 1 serving's worth, or about an ounce. All we need to do, grab a chip and dip. I mean, look at that, nice and smoky. The meat is well seasoned, very flavorful. You got that garlic, you got that salt, you got the pepper, you got the saltiness and the crunch of the chip, and then you have the Velveeta cheese with the fat-free cheese that's completely covered up by all of the other flavors going on. It's just so delicious, especially for the calories you're getting. Wow, that is good as hell. Let's go over the macros, and God, I am amped for this Sunday. Speaking of amped, do you want to get amped every time you hit the gym? If so, check out Gorilla Mode and all their pre-workout products that are scientifically backed and will give you that edge with every session at the gym. And use code E4CM for 10% off your entire purchase. Back to the macros. For the cheeseburger itself, we have 357 calories, 11 fat, 11 carb, and 54 protein. Now, I told you can use any chip you want. There's gonna be a bunch of different chips, so I'm not gonna use the chips in this example. You could put it on bread if you want. Do it however you'd like. There's so many ways to do this, and as we all know, there are no rules in the kitchen. One thing I do know is that if you're falling behind on protein for the day and you need something quick and easy and you don't wanna have like a protein shake or a protein bar, this is a very, very good way to get your protein in and make sure that you're hitting your totals for the day. I mean, 54 protein and 357 calories, you're pretty much not gonna beat that even in a protein powder. And this is a whole food source. I would 100% recommend trying this out. It takes no time whatsoever, and you get multiple servings out of it. And you could also make this for a damn party. You could bring it over and they're gonna have zero idea that it's anabolic. I can absolutely promise you that. I have this absolutely unbelievable Oreo protein ice cream coming out very soon. If you wanna support me, buy the Power 13 cookbook. I have multiple recipes in there that are super good. I just did another full day of eating on that if you wanna check that out as well. And until next time, I will see you in that next one. Deuces.